Second Corinthians 4:16. For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. And that stuck out to me because it's like talking about what it made me think of is like how our physical appearance, our body, as we get older, it's our bodies get weaker. And but if we're, walking with God, we're, you know, doing as He says to read His Word and stay with Him. While as time goes on, our bodies are perishing. On the That's on the outside, but on the inside, as we get closer to Him, you know, our inward man is renewed day by day. We're getting closer. We're getting more spiritually stronger, while our physical bodies are getting physically weaker. You know what I mean? And what that made me think of is like something I've always thought of, for a long time, is how, is it really a coincidence that so many people's grandparents often seem to be the most in tune with the Lord? Like, there's so many people that don't believe in God, but they're like, oh, I have grandparents who are Christians. And I don't think that's a coincidence. Well, for one thing, we're, in the last days, and like people are further and further from the truth and more distracted, so they're not getting saved. But like, in their grandparents' day, more people were getting saved back then. So that's part of it. But like, this verse also makes me think of like how over time people keep getting closer and closer to God, and so like that's why often the oldest people in the family seem to be the wisest when it comes to God in the Bible. Just something I thought of. I think that makes sense. And I think that reflects this verse, at least in a way. Um, yeah. And that's not to say that like all elderly people are wise and are saved. Far from it. There are, I'm sure you're familiar with some grandparents or some elderly people that are like completely off the rails. They're not saved. They're just crazy. But you know, um, I think that's just so common for people to have like saved, biblically in tune grandparents. Like people who are like, oh, my grandparents gave me their old, like super old Bible, and it's filled with all this, like all these notes, and it's like such a cherished thing, and it's like they're just so wise, and you know what I mean. Um, yeah, so just something it made me think of. Um, yeah, as we get older, even though our outward appearance is perishing, our spiritually we're getting way way stronger as the days go on, which is so cool because like obviously God says how like don't worry about the physical appearance. That's not what's important. It's about the inward. So as long as our inward man, is we're getting stronger that way, that's all that matters. And I know there's a verse that says like taking care of your body or like working out or whatever is like it has some benefit, but like it's only so temporary. We're gonna get transformed into perfect bodies soon enough, whenever that day we make it, get to heaven. So it's like, yeah, there is some benefit. It's not bad to like take really good care of your body, and I believe that's God honoring. Although some people can take it too far and it becomes an idol, and they're like obsessed over like being like super super healthy and work out all the time, and like you just got to be like really in shape, and it's like, like that's, maybe I'm just kind of lazy, but that just sounds exhausting and like not worth it to me. It's like like when you're working out, like you got to always keep up with it. Like that's a commitment. Like when you decide to like get in shape like that, like lifting weights, like you can't stop. That's your whole life. Once you stop, your body starts to go back to how it was, right? From what I understand about that stuff. Um, so it's like, yeah, it's, well, obviously we're not supposed to be like super unhealthy, but like, you know, it that's not, God doesn't say that's like should be our priority to like focus on making our bodies like be like super amazing physically. Like that's not really the goal here. It's just to make our inward uh, sharper and stronger, mentally, spiritually, with God. So I hope that made sense. Hope this blessed someone. God bless. Peace.